Hey guys, this is Jeff from Jeff's Vegetable Gardening and Containers on YouTube. Today I told you guys on the last few videos I was going to get out here and plant a couple of these trees I've been doing. So what I ended up doing was this peach tree I got here. I bought this peach tree from, I think I told you, Tractor Supply. Yeah, Tractor Supply 2 years ago, maybe 8 inches, 12 inches tall, in a little ball, plastic ball of dirt. I started growing it. I put it in my greenhouse for the winter, went through a year, put it back in the greenhouse, bought it out again this summer. And you can see it's grown, but it's not producing. It started little peaches this year, but it really doesn't produce for 2 or 3 years, most of them, till they get a little more mature. So what I did was I took advantage of the wet ground coming out of my garden in this area here, where fruit trees and vegetable trees need a lot of water, but they don't like staying in water. I've told you that a million times. So what I did here was I dug down. So this is in probably an 18-inch root ball that's down there. So it's 12 inches down in the ground, about 6 inches up a little bit. It's all clay under here. So what I did underneath here was I took little pieces of old scrap 1x4 from like pallets and just lined the whole bottom with that wood on the pallets there on the bottom of the hole, and that gives it something to breathe from the clay down there. Allows the water to go somewhere if it gets too bad, and then it gives it a little bit of air inside there, like an air bubble, and eventually it'll all settle in. But then also on the holes I dug the hole twice as big as the container itself. And once I got it dug out, as you can see, that's all grass and stuff. I'm not putting that back in. I'll put this dirt in, then I'll mulch it. But I dug the hole out flat, made a nice container size hole in there, leave a little bit up so I'd have air gap there. And what I did was I scarred the outside of the hole with the shovel everywhere with X's. Just kept Xing it, and then the bottom of the pit, Xing it and Xing it. So as water gets in there and as this goes through the winter or whatever, it'll start, the roots, once it starts coming out, it'll start having somewhere to go instead of just banging up against that clay, which really kills trees around this area. Like I told you, in clay you can do oaks and pines and maples, as their roots all go out this way, and it's a pain in the butt to drive over them and the tractor and all that, but they will grow. A lot of fruits, a lot of plums, a lot of specialized trees won't grow here unless you grow them a certain way. And the only reason I know is I had to learn the hard way by making the mistakes. So after I got that in, I set that in, and if you look, I took a whole bag of potting soil, just put it around the whole thing in there. And I'm going to put this original dirt back in there, but I put the potting soil in there because the potting soil is light, fluffy, it'll absorb, and it'll actually do a little air. Even though I stamp it down, pushing the air out, it's going to give it a little bit of air to drain and get wet and dry out for that first while. And then once I'm done getting this dirt back in here, then I'll be taking some straw. I got some mulch up front. I'll be taking some straw or some mulch and throwing it on top, and then she'll sit there and be ready for the winter. She's already staked right here from being in the bucket. So once I get this in, she should be all right. So let me adjust this camera. We'll get into moving the rest of this dirt in here, and you can see it down on the ground there where the bulb is that I have there. I don't know if I'm sitting here just right or not. Can't tell because this dingbat thing here. All right, so I'm gonna move up a little bit. Looks like I'm on it there. There's the bulb there, okay? So for the peach tree. So the only thing I'm gonna do is, now that I got all that good pot soil in there to help it be lighter and everything, so I'm just gonna move this good dirt, not that grass dirt. I don't want that in there. But this clay / decent soil, which is right here, which is heavier. So I'm gonna move that all back in and around this plant, and this will help it settle down in there. You never want to take a tree, even if there's clay here and nasty soil, thanks to People's Company built these houses. And the farm that used to be here, they just threw some soil on top and said, hey, we're ready to go. So I'm building that around there now. But you always want to mix whatever you're putting back in the ground. If it's a tree, a bush, something flowering, something, you always want to mix a little bit of its natural soil or whatever it's been growing in back with it, because just like water, freeze, or anything else, if you take something out of an environment, that it's going to take something out of the environment like it's been in a pot for all that time and put it in a new environment. Not that you want to have it full of this stuff, but you want it to get used to the dirt or the ground or whatever you're using, that it's going to go back in there, because if not, it's not going to be too happy with what you're putting it through and trying to make it grow, man. So we've got some good, you can see the whiteness of this. It's like if I can explain it to you, it's like baked clay. It's been here forever, and it is some of the hardest stuff in the world to dig in. So in this, I don't know, 75 to 100 trees I've put in this yard and grown from seedlings on up over the years. And this stuff, I have to go through it every time, fighting this dirt to get something down there. And if you don't take the time and prep it just right, believe it or not, it won't survive. But all the vitamins you want down there, I mean not vitamins, all the fertilizer you want down there, follow all these directions from different people, and it'll look good for a little while, and then you'll be like, I'm watering it, I'm doing everything I can, and the thing just isn't producing. It won't, just looks like crap here for a year or two. But when it's in clay, it is 90% the fault of too much moisture every time. When I say that, if you're planting in that hard clay, it has nowhere for that moisture to go once it goes in the ground, because clay, like I said, not the clay you grew up in school with and you got wet and played with, Play-Doh. It just don't, it's hard as a rock, and it just doesn't want to mend to what you want it to mend to. So I have a little more soil over here I can use, but what I'm going to do is nothing heavy. I don't actually have any tree fertilizer right now or anything I normally use, but I'm going to put a little 463 around here, just something low, just for the winter, just something to keep it growing and get into the soil, because it's used to being fertilized by me, you know, every couple of weeks. And I throw a little bit of worm casings around there, just so we give it a real good environment to keep growing in. And it's always full of nutrients and ready to go. So that ain't myself in there, so I'm going to give it the rest of the bag. Alright guys, I got one more bag of hot soil I'm going to throw on top of this, just to make it more light, fluffy, and the mix I have in there to kind of work together. Not to get drained, allow it to air out when it needs to. I'm going to throw another bag of that on there and dress it all up, and she should be ready to go. Also, I meant to tell you, when I put this root ball in, I took it out of the pot and everything. What I did was I took with a hoe or shovel, whatever you have, and I broke like 3 or 4 inches off the bottom of it, because even though it's a bigger tree, it has not gotten down to that 18 inches of depth yet in that bucket. So I checked it wasn't down there, I took a little off, put it in there, mixed that in around and everything, and she'll be good to go now, where she's at. And like I said, she's staked now, so we should be good. I just got to get the remaining dirt that's pretty good over here in the hole. Not the grass dirt, but the other dirt laying, get that in the hole. And I got to put a little more soil on top, just to flatten that with a little raise to the middle. And then I'm going to mulch the crap out of it, and she should be good. Now, this time next year, we'll see if she's producing peaches or growing any bigger as she is, because right now she's already grown to 6 foot tall. And it was, like I said, 8-12 inches when I got it. It was one stick with no leaves in the middle of winter. So we'll just keep trying to see where she goes from here, and hopefully we got some progress in this. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Yeah, coming out today. Make sure you got a chance, go out and like and subscribe on all the different channels, and share your videos with everybody and that I make, and comment if you like. I always get back to everybody as much as I can. Remember to it's Jeff's Vegetable Garden and Containers on YouTube. It's Jeff's Vegetable Gardening on Facebook, Jeff's Gardening on Instagram, at Jeff's Vegetables on Twitter or X, whatever it is now. And I'm also out on Pinterest, and I'm getting like 2,000 views a month, but not many followers. But I'm not sure about that Pinterest and how it works, but I'm going to be working on that a little bit. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of the week, and maybe we'll see you this weekend before the holidays over. All right, guys, see you.